Well, we do get voicemails here at the core, and here's one that came in from one of our listeners in South Africa. Her name is Latibe.
Hi there. The question I have is surrounding how the church can care and pray for singles a bit better. It would seem, just from my experience, that the highest esteemed station is being married or being a parent, and rightfully so. It's part of God's rightful design. I guess I was wondering around like the people who possibly could never get married, or it's not in God's ordained will for them to ever have children. Is there no room to celebrate single people's milestone as a church? And second to that, I notice even when praying for singles in our church, the only thing we care to pray for is that the Lord provides them with husbands. Sometimes prayers like that already have me feeling like, well, is there nothing else you can pray for me for? I don't know. Maybe I'm not thinking about it rightly. I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Nativa, thank you so much for your question. And I just got to say, as a pastor, as a minister of the gospel, I'm somewhat convicted hearing you, because I think it's so important for us as pastors to care for the members of our church, regardless of what stage of life they're in or what their calling is. And Paul talks about singleness in particular in places like 1 Corinthians 7. And it's interesting because one of the things that the Corinthian church was struggling with was they were looking at some members in the church who they thought were lesser, didn't have the same calling or gifts that they had. And they were tempted to disparage them and to treat them as sort of second-class citizens. And so I think we have to be really careful that we don't fall into that same trap as well. And that's clear. That point that I'm making about the Corinthians is clear in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, where he's talking about the different gifts and callings in the body, and how some people were, again, just tempted to say, oh, well, we don't really have any need of you. Not until you get married, at least, or not until you have kids, at least. And certainly that's the furthest thing from the truth. And so, we live in a culture and a society that really has, I think, disparaged the family, marriage, having children. But that doesn't mean that the pendulum should shift in the church in the other direction of saying, well, singleness is bad, or the only thing you're good for is finding a spouse. And so I'm sorry that you feel that way, or that you've been made to feel that way. And as I said, certainly the prayer for you isn't just, that, hope that they come around to finding somebody. No, but that you would use the gifts that God has given you now and the opportunities that the Lord has given to you now at this point in your life to continue to serve Him, and to serve Him in ways that are unique to the current situation that you're in. And I think Paul gets at this in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 32. He says, I want you to be free from anxieties. The unmarried man is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to please the Lord. But the married man is anxious about worldly things, how to please his wife, and his interests are divided. And the unmarried or betrothed woman is anxious about the things of the Lord, how to be holy in body and spirit. But the married woman is anxious about worldly things, how to please her husband. I say this for your benefit, not to lay any restraint upon you, but to promote good order and to secure your undivided devotion to the Lord. Here he's encouraging those who are married and those who are single. But here he's saying, you who are single, you have this special opportunity to serve the Lord with this kind of undivided attention, focusing on Him, how to be holy in body and in spirit. And that is, my sister, a beautiful thing. And so may the Lord encourage you in that and bless you. And I pray that as you continue to grow, and however the Lord calls you, that you would be encouraged by the people around you, and built up, and that you would use the gifts that are unique to you, whatever those gifts are, for the edification of the body, and that you would be valued as a member of the body of Christ. And each one of us who are united to Jesus Christ, we've been united to His body, different callings, different gifts, but each of us is integral to the health of the whole body. All of us, we're bringing different things to the table, different gifts to the table, and it's only as the body works together that it's built up in love. And so may you be built up in love, my sister. Thank you so much for calling us. And may you be encouraged to serve the Lord and to follow him and to use the things that he's given you for his glory.